Officer for the Travis County Sheriff's Office. You want me to just kick it off?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
All right. So last night, a 911 call came in at 8:27 p.m. reporting an individual who had gone into the water at Lake Travis and had not resurfaced. EMS, fire, Starflight all responded. They were unsuccessful in the rescue attempts, and so it went into recovery mode yesterday evening. We are looking for a male who is 19 years old. He has been missing since yesterday evening. Today, we have been working diligently to search for him. We are executing our drop cams. We've got Texas Game Warden out here using side scan sonar. LCRA is going to join in and help us with some of the devices that they have to offer. And we will continue to look for him until as long as we can. We're dealing with a search area that's rather large. In these situations, people who are involved have a tendency to panic. The backstory on this one is we had a group of young people who were on a boat, and they were in Devil's Cove, and they were headed back to where they launched the boat. So somewhere in transit, the missing swimmer fell off of that vessel. And so it was nighttime, it was about 8:20, so of course you know by then it's dark. So we are dealing with a very stressful situation. We're dealing with multiple people on a boat. So we've got a couple of different locations where witnesses believe they saw him last, which is giving us a rather large area to search. We are looking at waters that are anywhere from 40 feet to 120 feet deep. So we can't dive at this point because we don't have a good location to dive. We have an area to search. We're going to grid that area off. We're using sonar and we're using other devices to see if we can find a target that we can dive for. Another challenge we're facing is the fact that there's an orchard under the water there. So we have full-grown trees, and we have to take those into account. We want to do everything possible. We're going to do everything possible to try to find this person and bring closure to the family. But we have to be mindful of the safety of our team, and we don't want to lose another life in the process. So we'll be very, very careful in how we go about doing this, and we will search as long as we're able to try to find him.
The witnesses who believe they might have spotted him in a couple different spots, were those people on other boats or outside of the boat he was on?
Our witnesses are people who were on the boat, as well as the driver.
And did people on the boat not really realize right away when he fell off, or did they?
People noticed right away that something had happened. They looked for him, they called 911, and they looked, and then we of course came out to look as well. But when you're in a situation where you're on a body of water and it's nighttime, and this situation is very, very stressful, it's hard to remember exact locations. And general areas on Lake Travis are very large in nature. And so when you start looking for somebody, it's not like an expanse that we can just look out and see. Diving is something where you go in and you look in a very specific area and then you come back up, and there's not a lot of visibility. So when we're going to make a dive, we need to know that we're going after a target that's reliable. And right now we have a large area we're looking in.
So they're not able to say like the exact area where he
No, we do have a couple of fixed points that witnesses have told us they believe is the last place they saw him. We're working off of those and building a grid, and we'll search that grid.
Was this a boat full of young people or family? Or?
This was a boat full of friends.
Do you know if alcohol was a factor?
We're investigating, but I don't know that at this time.
Devil's Cove, a popular spot even at this time of year for people to be out at?
Well, of course, we've had an unusually hot September and a warm October, and when a day is nice, people are going to come and enjoy the lake. So it doesn't really matter what the month is or what the season is. Lake Travis is a very popular destination.
Do you have a word of advice for other people who may be boating after dark, or
My word of advice is the same word I will give every time. Wear a flotation device. We have never recovered a body from Lake Travis that had on a flotation device. That is what you have to do. This lake is so dangerous. You have to be wearing your personal flotation device, and especially when you're going to be boating at dark.
So friends on the boat knew that he wasn't wearing a life jacket?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
Did they say how he fell off? Or...
No, I don't have that information at this time.
Okay. But it was a fall, it wasn't like a jump in the water?
What we know is what we know for sure is that he came off of the boat. Whether it was a fall or a jump hasn't been definitively determined.
Do we know how many people were on the boat, and if any of the other people were wearing flotation devices?
Our detective probably knows by now how many people are on the boat, but I don't have that information right now. And whether or not the passengers were wearing, I'm not aware. So when we're dealing with such a large area, and when we're dealing with the possibility that this individual may have gone into water over 100 feet deep, bear in mind that the Travis County Sheriff's Office can dive to 100 feet. And that is if we get a target that we can look at. And I'll remind you that we've had situations in the past where we've had people who have gone missing on Lake Travis, and after a certain point, our efforts are exhausted. And we are very, very hopeful that we're going to be able to find him, but the reality is this may be something that takes longer. And so we're going to keep looking until we have exhausted every avenue we have.
Can you explain just what like drop cams are and the sonar and
Sure, there are various types of sonar that are going to be used, whether it be a towfish or a side scan, and those are devices that are used off the side of the boat, and that sonar looks for all kinds of different stuff under the surface, and these people who operate it know what they're looking for. The drop cam is just what it sounds like. It's a camera that we drop in areas where we think we may have something of interest to look at, and we drop the camera down there first to see if we're looking at a tree stump or if we're looking at something else, to keep us from sending a person down there and taking that risk.
About how many people would you say are out there searching? Are you able to put a number?
We've got a couple of TCSO boats. We've definitely got at least one Texas Game Warden boat. LCRA was out there earlier today. I think they might still be there. So we've probably got between 4 and 6 right now. All right, so I'll keep y'all posted as we go. If things develop, I will, of course, tweet and let you know that something is happening. But we will continue sonar searches, we will continue shoreline searches, we will continue to do surface searches, everything that we can do until we've exhausted our efforts.
So will you all be just doing it until dark and then getting up tomorrow morning and
Correct. And we have some severe weather potential, I believe, tonight, and so of course that's a factor. We will be out here when it's safe to be, and we will do everything we can to try to find this person and bring closure.
Thank
Yep.
you so much.
You're welcome.